All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to our weekly Zoom Q&A call. I'm doing something different this week. I think this is the first time I've actually ever done this. I am also live streaming on YouTube. Now, I might experiment with this for the next few weeks, but I'm going to live stream the beginning half of the Q&A call on YouTube, and then I'm going to cut the live stream and we'll finish off the second half of the Q&A call on the live stream here for our community, for our students here. So if you are watching this on YouTube or if you find this on YouTube, um, check it out. Obviously, hang out, watch the show. We'll cover, let me go over the agenda here, what we'll cover in the first half of the call. And then again, the second half of the call will be exclusive for our community student members. So on my weekly Q&A call every week, we start off with Amazon news and updates. I'll go through, I'll make sure you're updated on all the new changes, releases, updates for Amazon Seller Central. So we'll start off with that today. We've got a bunch of updates. We've got an update related to coupon fee reimbursements. We've got an update on Black Friday and Cyber Monday to drive engagement. We've got an update on the A to Z guide for new product launches. This is very cool. I'm going to show you guys on screen this today. And then we've got an update for the Consumer Search Trends and Insights report. Also very cool. I'll show you guys that on screen today as well. Then we're going to do In the News. I've got some really exciting things to share with you guys on In the News. One is actually related to a drop in new sellers on Amazon. There's a podcast episode from a friend of mine that I was listening to in the Amazon space. I'm going to share with you guys what that episode is. And if you want to check it out on your own, you definitely can. There's a new AI supplier search tool. I just did a video on it today. It's out on my social platforms. If you go to Instagram, you'll see it on there. But I'm going to show you guys today as well that tool. We're gonna mess with it on screen a little bit today, which will be fun. And then I've got an exciting update for you guys on my new Helium 10 video series that's going to be launching on Monday. I've spent a ridiculous amount of time on that video series. I think totaling it all up, I spent over 50 hours personally working on that video series, prepping it, recording it. I did all the editing of all 5 videos. It was an insane. I was up till midnight, multiple nights working extra. I was putting in like 14-hour days for a couple weeks just working on this for you guys. So I wanted it to be the best Helium 10 tutorial series on YouTube. I didn't really watch, but I like looked at a whole bunch of other ones out there to see what the quality standard was, and I think we hopefully blew it out of the water as far as quality goes. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. So we'll talk about that. That's where we're going to cut the live stream. Not yet, not yet. Don't worry. But that is where we will cut the YouTube live stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's when we'll call it good. Now, if you're in my community and you stick around, we're going to do what's working and what's not. I'm going to share with you guys. I had a whole bunch of phone calls this week. I'm going to share some thoughts from some phone calls I had this week with potential students, new sellers, former students. Past clients, and then I'm gonna share with you guys agency wins. This is something that I like to do is share what's working, what's not, what's working for agency clients, my own brand, student brand. So I've got a lot of updates, a lot of updates. I have all my notes here. So I'll share that and then I'll answer questions at the end. And we've got some really good questions here related to checking demand of products and designing products. And then also pricing your products on TikTok versus pricing them on Amazon. There's also actually something that my own brand, I'm going to talk about. And then one of our clients who's in our TikTok management, they're the ones that asked the question. So we're going to talk about that as well. So lots of good stuff on our call this week. I feel like every week I say that, but hopefully every week is packed with value for you guys. So, and hopefully this is kind of fun for anyone who trickles or stumbles upon this on YouTube Live. I do see there's 2 people watching. That's crazy. So shout out to the 2 people watching on YouTube right now. And also big shout out to my people who are here with me live in the community. Shout out Gus, Kirsten, and Rafina. Again, I apologize. We were a little late to posting about this call. We're supposed to post at the beginning of the week, but we kind of dropped the ball again there. So hopefully we do better about announcing that for you guys at the beginning of the week. Sometimes my schedule's a little whack, and so getting the call on the calendar, sometimes I'm delayed a little bit on that. So that's definitely partially my fault as well. Okay, everything looks good to rock and roll here. So let's get right into the nitty gritty. There is a limited time coupon fee reimbursement for new FBA selection. So from now until January 31st, you're going to receive an automatic reimbursement of the 60 cent per redemption coupon fee for coupons of newly launched FBA products. So normally, guys, if you set up a coupon on Amazon, and a coupon is like, if you look at Amazon and you see the search results, you see like the little green, clip here for 5%, clip here for 10%. That is what a coupon code is. Normally, guys, if anyone clips your coupon discount on Amazon, you actually get charged 60 cents. There is a fee associated with using coupons. I mean, it's annoying, but it makes sense. It's like usually if you use coupons, you can get more traffic, higher click-through rate, all that kind of good stuff. So Amazon's like, hey, if we're allowing you to have this nice little fancy green badge and get more traffic to your listing, we're going to charge you for those clicks and conversions. Um, so again, normally you get charged 60 cents, but if you are a new FBA product and you're using coupons, they're going to reimburse you for that 60 cent fee. So that's really cool. Again, if you're in the FBA new selection program, that's from now until January 31st. Drive ad engagement during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Here, there's a checklist here, guys, for your advertising efforts and some things to keep in mind as we move here into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Some optimization tips to drive more traffic. Use high quality, larger size product snapshots so that it's immediately clear for customers what's being promoted. That would be kind of if you're using like display ads or sponsored brand ads that are showing pictures of your products. Use a single product creative that features simple and neat composition. Use simple, easy to read copy to help clarify promoted products. Use sharp, vivid visual elements so that your creative pops, for color product images. Use colored frames, high background to foreground contrast, just so things stand out and look really nice. Shout out to my son Ryan. He's trying to come say hi in the background there. Um, Display improve brand what's the word? Recognizability. I don't know if I've ever said that word in my life. Improve brand recognizability by displaying a distinct logo that's familiar to your customers to help build that brand awareness. And then make sure your store is ready. That's kind of the second part here of this news release. Make sure your store is ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You've got the promotional messages, making sure that you're staying in line with the ad policies. Make sure you have your store pages set up properly for the holiday event, text banners, widgets, all that kind of stuff. You can actually even schedule, this is kind of interesting. You can schedule a separate store version for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So within your like Amazon storefront where you design your store page where you can like have different product listings and things all set up there in your store when someone clicks your brand name, you can actually create different storefronts. And so you could create a separate one specifically for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So that way you could have like promotional images, like you could have some photos that say Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday deals, and feature different products that maybe you're running a sale on for Black Friday or whatnot. So that's something that's interesting that you could do as well as create a separate storefront with images and creatives specifically for Black Friday. Now, I know that like all of that kind of stuff sounds super overwhelming. And for a lot of us here, like I know a lot of people who are in the programs or watch the show, we're relatively newer sellers. Maybe we only have a handful of products and SKUs. Maybe we're not doing crazy numbers of sales, or maybe we're just running this business by ourselves. Like we don't have all the time in the world to be doing all these different things. So, like I try to remind my students all the time, don't get overwhelmed, but focus on what's bringing the most ROI. And then once you have that system in place, then focus on expanding from there. I think a mistake a lot of new sellers, I'm getting a little bit off on a tangent here, but I think a mistake a lot of new sellers make is they get caught up in all these different tools and features, like what I just said, like, oh, I got to run display ads, and I need to have all these custom images, and I need to have a separate storefront for Black Friday, and like, they'll spend hours creating a separate storefront for Black Friday. When in reality, at the stage you're at with your brand, is that going to make a huge difference for you? Probably not. Probably not. Like if you're going to spend 4 hours designing a special storefront for Black Friday, or you can spend 4 hours like really making sure, excuse me, you're dialed in on your ads. You have new campaigns launched. You've got all your promotions, discounts, coupons, all that set up. You're posting on social media. I would definitely go with the second, right? I would definitely go spend 4 hours on that, not on creating a separate storefront for Black Friday. But again, if you're a bigger, more established seller, your PPC is dialed in, you've outsourced it, and now you have time to focus on other things, then focus on other things. Honestly, like kind of I follow the same process with my own brand with Remy and Rue, but also just like with my own businesses. Any business that I've done, guys, I follow this process where I try something. It's all about testing, right? So we try something, I do it on my own, I test it, I figure it out. Once I figure out that it works, I do more better, kind of Alex Hermosi style, more better, and then I outsource. So like I mean, this is unrelated to Amazon, but like we'll talk YouTube, for example. So example, like if you're doing a YouTube channel, like me for my YouTube channel, I'll have an idea for a type of video that I want to do. So I will go, I'll research the video that I want to do, I'll plan it out, I'll record the video. And then if it's like a different editing style, like, okay, I'm going to try editing it different than I have in the past, I will edit the video myself to make sure it's how I want it to be. And then I'll post it and then I'll see how it goes. And then if it's like, okay, that was cool, I like that, it worked well, or I'm happy with how it turned out, then I'll do it again and try and do it better. Then I'll do it again, try to do it better. And then once I've kind of gotten in a system of like, okay, I can replicate this pretty easily now, then I outsource. So then I have an editing team that edits videos for me. But like for this Helium 10 video series that just came out, I wanted it to be better. I wanted this to be better than what I've done in the past. So I did it myself personally. So that way I can set the foundation. I edited 5 videos. I kind of got in a groove of the style I like, the flow, the call outs, the graphics, everything that's in those videos that you'll see. And then I can tell my editing team, like, okay, I've established how I want this to be done. Now I can have you guys do it. And now I can free up time and do something else. So same thing with Amazon. You might do ads yourself, run them, figure them out, get them all dialed in, learn how it works and whatnot. And now it's like, okay, I got a pretty good grip on how ads work, but I want to spend time doing other things for my business. Here you go, person, team, whatever, run my ads for me. I'll focus here. That's what we do. That's what we do. So I think that's something that can really help you scale, especially if you're a one-man team. Try it yourself, figure it out, find the system, outsource. Next thing. Okay, back to our Amazon updates here. Okay, I got two PDFs that I want to show you guys. So the first one I'll show you guys is the A to Z guide for new product launches. I was reading through this morning. Let me share my screen here so you guys can see it too. Let's go share screen, desktop 2. This is very cool. This is a full, I'm gonna put this in the community for you guys. I'll drop the PDF in there so you guys can download it easily as well. Especially for those of you new sellers who don't have Amazon Seller Central yet, you won't be able to get this otherwise. It's a guide for new product launches. So this is how to identify new product opportunities, bring them to market, and accelerate launch sales. And here's the cool thing about these. Like, let's be real, guys. I'm an Amazon content creator. I'm a coach, agency owner. This is what I've done the past 4 years is like teach people how to start and launch brands on Amazon. But I try to tell my students all the time, like if it comes from the mouth of Amazon themselves, it's very smart to listen because they're the ones holding all the data. So if they're telling you like, hey, you should do it this way or you should do this, it's like, it's probably a good idea. So I definitely think it's worth checking this out. So they have this table of contents here. You can see everything that's in here, guys. Within 30 days of launching a new product, do this. Within 60 days of launching a product, do this. Within 90 days, do this. Before launching a product, do this. Like, here, I'll just scroll here and show you guys some stuff. Or we'll just kind of do like a slow scroll. Before launching a product, here's what you should do. Check this. Check compliance standards. Click here to check the compliance standards. Like, these are all really good reminders of things that you should do. Now, when it comes to Amazon and their recommendations for starting a brand, I would say that something that they lack in where Amazon lacks in like their seller university videos and tutorials and stuff is they are looking at this from a very, very corporate perspective. Like they don't, at least in the webinars I've attended and videos I've watched, tutorials, it's like they're very like scientific, ABC, black and white about how to do things, but they don't really get all the different nuances of how it really works in the real world. So, like, yes, are all of these best practices for sponsored product implementation? Absolutely. Absolutely. But when it comes to like the little nuances of things and the little tricks and tactics and strategies, they're not really good about sharing that type of info. They're not really good about sharing that type of info. And a lot of you guys know that who have been on their webinars, like they're advertising webinars. They host those PPC webinars all the time. And it's like, here's how to set up a sponsored product campaign. It's like, yeah, that's great. I learned how to set up a campaign, which is cool. But like, again, like why to target things and how and when and what's like all those little nuances, again, like they don't really go into deep detail there. In fact, I've actually been on some of those webinars and I ask some like higher level questions. And the people that do the webinars are kind of just like, uh, we're just kind of reading a script here. Like they don't really know. Honestly, they say like, you probably know better than I do, but we're just showing you A to Z how to do this. So keep that in mind as you're like reading through this, but I definitely think it's worth looking at. I definitely think it's worth looking at because again, they have all the data. They know what works and what doesn't, so they're probably basing a lot of this off of what really good sellers are doing. So again, that's the A to Z Amazon launch guide and I'll throw that in the community for you guys. Okay. The other PDF that I wanted to show you guys is the Consumer Search Trends and Insights report. That is this one right here. Now, you guys know that Jungle Scout comes out with one of these quarterly, I believe, and I share that a lot on my weekly Q&A show. But again, this is one of those things where this is coming straight from the mouth of Amazon. This is customer search trends from Amazon's data. So this isn't like, oh, Jungle Scout or Helium or Smart Scout connecting to the API and like, using algorithms and stuff to make predictions. This is like literally Amazon sharing their data. So again, this is something that I think is very, very good to look at to see, how search trends are changing. Top five, like right off the bat, top 15 categories by a T90-day growth. Okay. Interesting. How are search trends changing? Badminton search trends, like all sorts of different niches here, golf cart accessories, golf carts, golf club bags, niche search volume growth, sweaters, masks, fashion hoodies. Like there are 17 pages here of different um, metrics and statistics about different search trends and things. I know it's showing a little bit blurry right here on my screen, but again, I'll put this for you guys as well in the community so you can kind of check out some of this stuff. If you're someone that is still early in the product research phase, I would definitely recommend looking into this. If you're like trying to come up with a niche or a category that you potentially want to build a brand around. And even for those of you that are established, come and check it out and just get a vibe for, where could there be opportunities for expansion or just to get a feel for like what is the market doing? Like what is the market doing as far as where are people moving towards? What are they looking more for? Because you can find a lot of clues that apply to your own niche just by seeing where other people are looking. So like here's one right here. What page am I on right here? I know I stopped the screen share, but consumables search volume. Handmade. Handmade is up 2,132%. So you can think about like, okay, what is that telling me? I mean, my initial just reaction to that is it's telling me that people are valuing more handmade types of stuff. At least right now. At least right now, like during this time frame that we're looking at. So maybe there's just a pop culture consumer trend shift in where maybe people are getting tired of, mass Chinese made products and they want something more personal and emotional, like handmade type of stuff where, it feels a little bit more like some more human care and thought was put into making the product. So how can you apply that to your own category and niche in your own products, right? Okay, let's go to in the news, shall we? So my friend Scott, I think I actually closed my window here. Let me pull this up here. I'm gonna pull up his let me pull up his YouTube channel really quickly here. So my friend Scott, he is the founder of Smart Scout. Let me just look this up. He's the founder of Smart Scout. It's another Amazon like product research software tool. And he came out with this episode. I'll share my screen right here and show you guys really quickly. I'm gonna have the volume off so it doesn't get crazy, but he did this podcast episode. I think if you can see it right now on my screen, where he talked about market forces. And he shows some interesting metrics on the screen. In fact, let me just skip ahead here to where he shows it. And I've already talked, I think I talked about this recently. Let me try and find it right here. It was around like the 4 or 5 minute mark. There we go. So he talked about some interesting market forces here. Right here, he's showing on screen how like the interest, the search demand for tools like Jungle Scout and Helium 10 are going down over time. Like since 2022, that says 2022. I know you can't see that, but that says 2022 to 2024. Interest searches for Helium 10 and Jungle Scout is down over the last 2 years. But what is very interesting, and he mentions this in the video, is that Amazon itself, like sales on Amazon, the last 2 years is up 10% each year. So what we're seeing, like if I were to kind of draw this right here over the screen, is new sellers, at least like US based new sellers, the interest is declining, which makes sense. Like there was that huge boom during COVID where like you could throw up dog poop and sell it on Amazon. It was easy. It was on fire from, everyone shopping online. And now again, the trend has kind of come back down to earth where it should have been. And so a lot of new sellers who weren't good, who have faced any type of hurdle, um, bottleneck, hardship, challenge, whatever you might call it, have given up. And he mentions that too. But at the same time, Amazon's growth is going like this, still growing like crazy. So he mentions in this podcast episode how the big are just getting even bigger. So if you were someone who started, 5, 10 years ago on Amazon, you're reaping some serious benefits right now because new sellers are slowing down. So there's just not as much competition. Or even sellers who maybe were newer are quitting, are giving up, are leaving because people hit challenges. It's not easy. Like it's not just a walk in the park for everyone. And some people, like if their first product isn't a home run, they're done. So like again, there's a lot of people who leave and quit and give up on a frequent basis. So those big brands, bigger brands are just getting bigger and bigger, and it's a better opportunity. I do think this will be very interesting to follow. He kind of wraps up the episode here about the election, talking about okay, there may be some big changes coming with China. Obviously, a majority of sellers are from China in China. And so if there's um moves made to, level the playing field, I know the tariff thing is a huge thing we've been talking about. We'll continue to follow that for sure. But like if there are big moves with like the de minimis exemption, all sorts of those things that like will affect China and Chinese sellers, how we source from China, all sorts of it's going to affect everyone in e-commerce really in retail. But that'll be really interesting to see how all this plays out over the next 12 months or so. I kind of look at this, and again, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible for you guys, but I kind of look at this as like the stock market. Like I believe it was Warren Buffett. Don't or fact check me on this. I was gonna say don't quote me, but fact check me on this. But I believe it was Warren Buffett who was like made famous for saying, um, when everyone's selling, that's when it's time to buy, type of a thing. Like the worst time to sell your stock, if you have, shares in the stock market, the worst time to sell is when it's going down. Like if you sell when it's going down, you lose your money and you're done. That sucks. So the best time to buy, technically the best time to buy is when it's on sale, when it's a good deal. So if the stock market's going down, you should. This is not a vesting advice, but like you should be buying because it's a discount, and then it goes up over time, and now you make your investment and you make your money. If but the it's just human instinct, right? To like when you see it going up and up and up and up, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, and then you buy, and then it crashes, and then you freak out and you sell and you lose your money. That's just normal human emotion. That's why it's very, very hard for people who are emotional investors. You see it with Bitcoin all the time, like Bitcoin going through the roof, right? Lately. So what does everyone do? Oh my gosh, Bitcoin is $90,000. I'm gonna go buy a ton. And then I'm not saying this is what's gonna happen or whatever, but then like you'll see a massive crash, everyone will freak out, everyone will sell, they'll lose a ton of money, and then they'll be like, Bitcoin sucks. What am I doing? So I look at this as okay, the amount of sellers, like, let me keep it like this. Like, if the amount of sellers is declining, right? Less and less new sellers are entering the platform. If you are someone who's thinking about entering the platform, it just means you have less competition now than you did in 2022. Now, again, is it harder? Yes, it's more difficult. But the beauty of it is if you go into it knowing you have to execute at a higher level, then you execute at a higher level. Otherwise, the issue is, people go into it now with the same mentality as if it was 2015, and then they suck, and then they give up. And they wonder why they suck and they wonder why they give up. Because it's like you're using the 2015 Amazon mentality here and strategy. That just simply is not going to work anymore. Like I tell people all the time, like you're not going to launch a product with $2,000 and just immediately make profit the next month. You're not. But again, if you're really good and you execute at a high level and you invest, then you can become one of those big brands that just keep getting bigger because you've made it through like that initial. It's like surfing. I've used the surfing analogy so many times on my podcast, but like I think about it as the surfing analogy. And normally I talk about surfing as like ride the wave in, like surf and ride the wave. But let's talk about paddling out. I don't know if any of you guys have surfed before. Those of you, Gus, Kirsten, Rafina, Sanjan. I don't know if any of you have been surfing before, or anyone who's listening to this, but getting on the surfboard, right? Laying on the surfboard and getting out past the shore break can be pretty crazy depending on where you're at. So that is like half the battle of surfing if you're new, right? Like we're talking new Amazon sellers, new surfers. If you're a new surfer and you want to like get into it and get started, half the battle is making it past the shore break. And it's kind of scary slash funny to watch new people, newbies. Like I've grown up going to Hawaii a lot. I'm Hawaiian for a lot of people who kind of know that. But I grew up going to Hawaii a lot, and it's kind of funny watching like tourists, like they have all those little booths where you can rent a surfboard or get an instructor for an hour, and you see those people like get on their big surfboard and go try to paddle out, and they can't get past the shore break. All the big waves crashing, near the shore. They're flipping and in the sand, and you're like sitting out there on your board, like, oh my gosh, like these people should not be out here. But again, once you like figure out, okay, I got to dive through the wave, time it, paddle, paddle, time it. Do I dive? Do I try to go over the wave or under? Like, and you get through the shore break and you get out there where you can actually like chill on your board and wait for a wave. It's kind of nice. Once you get out there, you're like, oh, this ain't so bad. I can float here. I can time the waves. I can paddle. But that shore break is brutal. And it's the same thing with Amazon. New sellers not prepping, not knowing what they're doing, grab their board and carry it and run out and think they're going to just, yeah, I'm just going to jump over this wave and then it flips them backwards into the sand. Don't be like those surfers. Know what you're doing. Assess the situation, have a plan to get past the shore break and stick it out. Again, that's like, I'm so on this analogy right now, but like, you'll see people you'll see like a big wave coming, and the tendency is like panic, 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 and then they stop paddling, right? Like if you're paddling to get out there and you see the big wave coming and you see it start to break, it starts to white cap where you're like, ooh, crap. People will panic. And instead of like just putting your nose down and getting through it, they panic, they stop paddling, they sit up, and that's when you get major flipped and you're screwed. And again, that's what everyone does as a new seller. They launch their products, they paddle, they hit roadblocks. It doesn't go as well as they think. Or they just don't really know they're doing. They panic, and then they get flipped to shore and they go out of business, and then they give up and quit. Whereas like you just got to push through. You got to commit, 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 commit. Trust the process and commit. Get through the rough early stage of the launch and everything. Once you start to get some more ranking, some scaling, some optimizing, and everything, then you're like, oh, I get it. I get this now. Then it's just rinse and repeat. All right, guys, what are we at? Oh, we're sweet. We're right at 2:32. Um, oh wait, actually I had two more things. Sorry, two more things for you guys, especially for those of you who are checking this out on YouTube. Two more in the news for you guys, and then we'll cut the live stream on YouTube and hang out with you guys here in the community. There is a new sourcing tool that just launched. It's called Axio. It's built by the team over at Alibaba, and it's essentially a chat GPT for Alibaba. Let me do a screen share here and I'll show you guys. It's very cool. There's a link on my website. If you go to andyisom.com, there'll be a button there that says Axio. You can try it for free there. The Alibaba team, they really want people to go through my link. I'm like, what? Like, can't they just go to the website? And they're like, please let them use your link. I don't get paid. Like, it's not like it's free. So it's not like I'm earning any money if you click my link. They just want to track it and see, like, oh, Andy actually drove people to try our tool. So it's cool if you guys go to andyisom.com and click the button and try it because then people at Alibaba are happy about it. But anyways, it's Axio. And again, it'll look very similar to like a Chat GPT, but it's like I said, it's Chat GPT for Alibaba. But here's the cool thing. They can give you like idea recommendations and they can give you recommendations for like certain types of factors. And let's play with it. Let's play with it for just like a couple minutes here. We won't spend crazy amounts of time, but like let's just type in um we'll do golf. Like I'm looking for product ideas related to golf. So again, it's not just like suppliers, but it will give you recommendations for golf products. So there's golf clubs, golf balls, golf apparel, golf bags, golf shoes. And then down here, you can kind of keep it going. So there'll be like some suggestions here. Golf gloves, golf training aids. I need reliable manufacturers for golf tees. So it's giving you some like common stuff. You could filter. So you could filter by specific product attributes, supplier capabilities, and services. I don't know why it's not loading yet. Let's try like one more follow-up. Let's be like, um, I'm looking for a golf product that costs less than $10 to make. Let's see if it can give us something good here. Okay. So now I'm getting a lot of golf products where ideally the cost per piece should be under $10. Okay, here's some more requirements. So this is kind of cool. So tailor your requirements. So I can click on, okay, here's some like common filtering things like what it's made of, what type of thing it is. Like for this specific product, this isn't, I mean, these recommendations aren't great, but you could like filter down here and say, like, I'm looking for stuff that's made of metal or nylon or whatever it is. And you can just keep digging down into the different products. You can also like select, you can compare. So I could select here, let me just say, well, let's just narrow down on something here. Let's do a accessory combo kit. Give me more accessory combo kits. Let's see if it will give me some more options here. Okay, so it's giving me oh, there's golf bags, golf gloves, golf towels, golf tees, head covers. I wanted like those kits, like a tee and ball divot repair kits. I've literally never searched anything on this related to golf, so I'm just kind of like winging it here. Okay, here we go. This is kind of what I wanted. So let's say this is the type of thing you wanted to sell. So now, since we have like a whole bunch of different options that are different options of essentially the same products, you can compare. So I could say like, okay, let's click on this one. Maybe that one let me click on for some reason. See, we're still learning here. So I click on it, click the select, click the select. Maybe there's certain ones I can't click on to select for some reason. I'm not really sure why it won't let me. Let's click add to compare. And then you can like compare them very easily side by side. So I can see like some quick notes side by side. It's like this one's not customizable. These ones are the price, the minimum order quantities, shipping fees, delivery times, factory info, ratings. So you can kind of do a little side by side comparison of different factories. And then you can keep asking it stuff. Like you could send it an inquiry, you can type a follow-up for those three. It's really cool. Like honestly, it really just makes sourcing on Alibaba just a lot easier because you can just kind of type out what you need. Type up an RFQ for me, a template for me for this. Um, who has eco-friendly packaging? Um, what are the best or what are the shipping methods that these factories um, allow different questions and things like that. So again, that's Axia. I wanted to show you guys that. I need to play with it more. I've literally played with it for like a week, but I think there's definitely potential there to make life easier. Okay, the last in the news slash I guess update I wanted to share with you guys was about the Helium 10 video series. So I posted about this on my Instagram story, but just to make sure you guys are all aware of it who maybe are not super active on social media, I have a new Helium 10 video series coming out. I'm gonna release it on Monday. So everything's up. It's all ready to go here in YouTube. So on Monday, you'll see it live. And it's a step by step. Actually, it's funny. I actually use golf as my cat. That's probably why I did it today. I used golf as my category for this video series. But I just go take you step by step from not knowing what product you want to sell at all to finding a product in the category of golf and seeing what our final viability score is in this launch pad. So it's a step-by-step process. And something that I really wanted to focus on without getting like too in the weeds on this is I really get sick of watching fluff on YouTube. I'm someone that like when I go and look up a tutorial on YouTube and I see that it's like a 12-minute video, but it's like legitimately you could learn it in 2 minutes. The other 10 minutes are just bull crap, like most of the time. And I'm not here to like bash any single creators or anything out there, but like I see a lot of content out there and I'm like, you've got this like 18-minute video on this and like you watch and I watch it and I'm like, there's just like so much fluff and unnecessary just BSing in here that it's just a waste of time. So if you notice, like these videos are very short and to the point. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes. So it's very, very like you'll see like when you guys watch them you'll see. And I'm someone who's definitely guilty of this. Like let's be real, I'm a podcaster and I can run my mouth way too much. In fact, on these calls I usually run my mouth a lot. But when it comes to like, hey, I want to learn a very specific thing, I'm going to YouTube to look this up and learn it. just get just just get into it. Just get in, tell me what I'm going to learn in the video and then tell me what I need to know and let's go about our day. And so that's what I really tried to do. So I spent a lot of time, like I said, planning it out, not just like I'm not just going to like turn on my camera, hit record and go through it. Like I planned every video to a T. I got rid of all the crap I didn't need in it, made sure it was like very to the point. And so again, so you guys can get the info that's actually valuable in as quick amount of time as you possibly can. So excited for you guys to see that. Okay, now we're going to go on to what's working and what's not and then answer questions. So this is where I'm going to say bye to you guys over on YouTube. Again, this was kind of a fun first dual live stream on the coaching community, but also here on YouTube. And I may keep doing this. Hopefully it provides some value. At least you guys can hear like what are the updates with Amazon, get a feel for what's going on in the news and that sort of thing. But we're going to get into the nitty gritty here of like what's working, what's not, tactics stuff, answering questions for those in the community. So hopefully that's a somewhat incentive for you guys to check it out and see if it's something that you'd be interested in, excuse me. All right.